When I moved down here, I was recently single. I had just lost my job as an architect and started working at a restaurant. So I didn't really know anybody. I didn't have anything to occupy my time. So I spent a lot of time sitting on a bench. And from working at the restaurant, people started to know my face. So when they would see me on the bench, they'd stop and talk, create personal relationships, become friends. I like the idea of being able to go outside, sit on a bench with a cup of coffee, and get more work done through face-to-face interaction than I could get done emailing and calling people from home. Having personal favors be a part of the equation, it allows for better things to happen, more organic things to happen. The neighborhood is a necessary part of my life. And again, it's for that interaction on a pedestrian level with people out on the street, sitting on a bench. I've been going to Essex for like 6-7 years now, so the places I go, the people know me. And I've always cooked, so they take good care of me. Oh, Essex Street is nice because it still feels like you're getting locally sourced ingredients. The people at Essex care about their product, and you can tell. You create personal relationships with them. You can still get the good vegetables, you can still get the good cuts of meat if you know the guy. It's knowing the guy to get the good food. It's knowing the guy and knowing what you're making and saying these are going to be good for what you're doing. Like the tomatoes I use for a certain dish need to be overly ripe. And if the guy knows me, he knows the food I make, and he's got those tomatoes and he keeps them aside for me, and I go in and he says, oh, I got these for you. It's those kind of personal relationships that take the details of a meal and bring it up. So the quality is good, the accessibility is good, and again, it's those personal relationships with the business owners. That's old world style, that to me is homemade. My grandfather's. My dad had. I was like, do you still have the key? He's like, yeah, I got the key. You want to see some cool shit?
Yeah.
My mother in Queens in probably the late 70s is from the Vietnam War. My dad's passes to get on and off the ship. Domain of the Golden Dragon. I don't even know what that is. Mask card. From 1974. This is when silver dollars were still made of silver.
Bananas aren't Italian.
How do you know? Maybe from Italy. Something that says, look how big my meat is. I'm a prime example.
We're just gonna like,
You wanna try that? I mean, everything you need to know about how to treat people, you can learn by watching The Godfather. My grandfather was born in New York. His father came here in 1914, started up a grocery store. My grandfather worked in the grocery store, and then when he was about, I think he was about 16 or 17, instead of buying bread from a bakery in New York, he started baking his own bread in the basement. His brother got back from the war and bought a bread route. So my grandfather started baking the bread for his bread route as well. So he did the grocery store, the bread route, they started delivering, and business started to grow. It got so big that it kind of surpassed the grocery store, and they switched it solely to a bakery. Over the course of years, they then grew and grew and grew and started manufacturing bread. So they went from kind of handmade to more mechanized methodology. That place was in the Bronx on Barretto Street. From my childhood, I remember going there and playing on stacks of cornstarch and flour while my dad was, working in the office with my grandfather. That was about the size of a city block, that place. It was just a massive bakery, and you could do we used to walk into the ovens, they were so big. And my grandfather would make like small Mickey Mouse shaped breads and cook them for me and my brother, and we would have coffee loaded up with sugar and eat this bread, and then we would go on the route with my dad at 3 in the morning, going through the city delivering bread. It was called DiNoto's Bakery.
And you are?
Joe DiNoto.